Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. It is bright and early. Scratch that. It's not even bright. It's just early. But I wanted to hop on and get some of these thoughts out of my head and chat with you guys a little bit as we start this week. I hope you guys had a beautiful weekend. Kind of feels like it flew by in the blink of an eye. But a lot of exciting stuff happened. We had the Oscars on Sunday. If you guys checked that out, I definitely didn't, but I was staying up to date as it was live posting online. And I have to say, Cillian Murphy winning Best Actor, he absolutely deserved it. If you guys have seen Oppenheimer, or if you haven't, check it out. I mean, it's haunting, it's heartbreaking, but the look that Cillian Murphy has, it's something in his eyes. It's fucking crazy. That's the best way that I can say it. When I watched it, I remember the very last scene. It's just him staring out, right? And there's something so hurt, so human, so painful in his look that it chokes you. And it was something that, I mean, even when I was watching it, I said to Grace, if this doesn't get, a Best Actor or even Best Director, Best Film, I think that somebody's doing something wrong, because it was so capturing, and it really took your emotions the entire time and faced you with them and said, hey, you're not escaping this. You're dealing with this. You're going to experience this. Deal with it, right? And I mean, Christopher Nolan does that so well. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. I feel like that's a pretty normal thing to say, especially from artsy folk, but he has a way of creating these films that they sit with you, they stay with you, and they don't leave. And this one is absolutely top of the list on that for sure. As I'm sure you guys can tell, I also have a little handheld mic today. Last time I tried this with just the H4n, I heard so much of my breath and popping, and you guys would be like, what, you had your headphones in, shouldn't you have known that? Well, I did, but in the time of recording, I just didn't have it in me to switch that out and even plug this in. So I did that for today. Hopefully this is a little bit better. I know it can be a little bit uncomfortable to just see somebody holding a mic and hearing it move like that, but hope that you guys bear with me. We'll get through this. For any of my Formula One fans out there, it was a really cool weekend. We have to talk about the Bearman. So Bearman, 18-year-old kid, hops up from Formula 2 because Carlos Sainz unfortunately had appendicitis. He had to go get his appendix removed, which was, I'm sure scary and hard. And he's one of my favorite drivers, so even when I saw that he wasn't on the grid and that he was in the hospital, I was like, oh my God, is he crazy? That aside, they pull Oliver up from F2. He had just gotten a pole position. He's crushing the game. And everybody's like, okay, here's an 18-year-old kid. He's going to be the youngest ever to drive for Ferrari. They're going to throw him on the grid, and people are like, okay, well, he'll probably fall into the back of the pack and, at least maybe scrape up some points for Ferrari. Bearman took P7. P7. His first ever debut in a Formula One car. It's absolutely incredible. A couple notes on that. He already scored more points than half the drivers on the grid, meaning he's higher up in the championship than half the drivers on the grid, which to me is insane. It's an 18-year-old kid. And one thing is, there's a shot right before the race. He's sitting in the car, he's getting stoked up, right? His visor's open, and he looks right at the camera. And me and Grace looked at each other like, oh my God, this is a kid. This is a kid. He looked so young. Both of us were like, oh my God, this is a fast circuit. It's a very narrow circuit. Like, is he gonna be okay? Dude came out like an animal. And he had most overtakes. He won driver of the day, scored points, P7. This kid has a bright future in the sport, and it's something that I'm incredibly excited to see. I'm a huge Formula One fan, and because of that, it trickles into I do enjoy Formula 2 on occasion. I'm not as obsessed with it as this, but I have seen Bearman performing in Formula 2, and to see him in this transition into Formula 1 was incredible. Like, he was doing so well. One other thing that I thought was funny was in the post-race interview. So I believe the Formula 2 race had about 15 to 20 laps. Formula 1 had 50. Right, so he's out of the car. He's talking to these interviewers like, oh man, how you feeling? How you feeling? He goes, I'm exhausted. I feel destroyed. Like, I wasn't expecting that. And it's something so funny that, like, a lot of people who aren't racing fans or motorsport fans, they don't completely think of the full picture of how athletic you have to be to control these machines out there. Guys, we're talking 900 horsepower. In 2026, they're going up to 1,000 horsepower. In the curves, we're talking 5Gs, hitting the wall. These are athletes out there. The amount of force that it takes to turn that car, the amount of attention and focus that it takes to even operate a vehicle like that. Like, these guys are, as Daniel Ricciardo jokes, high performance athletes. Shout out to anybody who knows what that was.
Is that real sweat?
It's real sweat. I'm a high performance athlete. Athletes sweat. Sweat, baby. Sweat, sweat.
In other Cougar news, this is one that's like very, very much a me thing. I like to hop from hobby to hobby and look at different interests. I never see it as a bad thing. I see it as a thing of, I really enjoy being busy and I really enjoy doing stuff. And more than anything, I love learning and I love to pick up new skills, new traits, or just something that I never thought about before. So Grace and I have gotten into this interesting place where she has always been interested in, is it esthetology? To be an esthetician? Dad, fix that if that's wrong, please. Thank you. But we've been talking about it a little bit, and to be completely honest, I find the makeup industry absolutely fascinating. So I know very little about it other than Jeffree Star, who I think is an absolute power unit in the business world. And if you guys don't know, A, who Jeffree Star is, or B, what he's doing out there, he came into the makeup game, I really hope I don't get this wrong, but I'm going to say maybe like 10, 15 years ago, and he changed it. And about 5 years ago, maybe, there was a docuseries put out on YouTube by Shane Dawson, and in that docuseries, they go really into the behind the scenes of the makeup world, what goes into creating a product, putting it out, giving it to people, making sure you're not melting their skin off. And it's something that's so fascinating to me because it's something that, A, I've never thought about, and B, I don't think a lot of people have thought about that. And so I'm in this place right now where, if you guys can't tell, I have what I would consider pretty long hair, and a lot of times when I wear it down, I get complimented, primarily by females who say, oh my god, your hair is gorgeous, it's feathery, it's plumey, it's soft, like, how do you get it this way? Well, I have Grace. Grace is the reason that I can have my hair like this, because it's something that, growing up and even being where I am, I never thought about how to take care of my hair, how to take care of my skin, how to take care of all of that. And I think there might be some, preconceived notion as growing up being a guy that I shouldn't have to care about that stuff. I should just roll out of bed, put on a hat and call it a day. Well, once I saw my hair starting to thin, it scared the absolute shit out of me. So it's really interesting to be now in this place where Grace is on the skincare side of things and I'm on the hair care side of things, and we're finding these little nuances that seem like they've been so wrong in the general media, or when people tell you, oh yeah, you use these products, you use these products, and use this. When I use these products, my hair started to fall out. When Grace used these products, her skin started breaking out. When I used these products, my skin started breaking out. So then you start getting into the conspiracy of it all. Okay, so are these products put out here and pushed so hard because they also, once you use that one, now you have to use their hair care, now you have to use their hair oil, now you have to use... And so it's something interesting that both of us went into it kind of like, okay, can it be done differently? And how so could it be done differently? And one thing that I will say is, if you guys think my hair is beautiful, there is actually a combination of hair oils that Grace has me using to make sure that I can grow it and have it long and healthy. And if that's something that's interesting to you guys, let me know, because this is, like I said, this is a new interest of mine, something that I'm learning, something that I'm growing into, and I'd love to share it with anybody, because I've even had friends who said, their morning routine is wake up and put on a hat, and I'm like, oh buddy, no. No, we got to take care of these things that we have, unless we want to end up all bald and wrinkly in the next 20 years. And personally, I'd like to try to stay as young and youthful as possible. Speaking of that, weird note, Grace and my wedding is coming up, and one thing that shocks people when I tell them is they're like, oh, you found somebody to grow old with, oh, how wonderful. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I found somebody that I want to stay young with. I found somebody that I want to explore the world with. I want to do everything with, but stay young with. Because I told you guys, I want to live past 100, and so does Grace. We're not going to do that if we turn 40 and we're acting like old boys and our hips hurt and our back hurts. No, it's not going to work. We have to be young. We have to be limber. We have to make sure that we're taking care of our bodies, our minds, everything. And if I'm 55 rocking the hair that I have now, guys, it'll be unstoppable. As I look over my shoulder, I see that the sun is finally starting to come out, which means that my morning alone with you guys is about to come to an end. I'm going to start needing to get some coffee, get some breakfast, and start on with my day. But I really enjoyed these couple minutes that I got to spend with you guys and just ramble on about random stuff. To be honest, on my side, I think using this handheld microphone might be the move for right now, but I am in the market right now to get a new camera, a new microphone, and if you guys didn't notice, this is being shot on one of my nice studio cameras right now. So hopefully that looks a little bit better for you. Hopefully it's a little bit more enjoyable. But I really appreciate you guys spending some of your time with me today, and I hope that you have an amazing week. We got this, all right? We're gonna rock it. The time change happened over the weekend, so hopefully you guys are all back on track from that. I know it kind of messes up everybody's schedule, but it's not something to complain about. It's something to embrace, all right? The sun's going down later, and that's something that's amazing. We get that little extra hour of dopamine. All right. I think that's all I got for you guys. You take it easy, all right? Peace.